At this time, I'd like to call the Board of Education meeting to order. And the first item of business is to administer the oath of office. At this time, I'm going to start with our two re-elected board members. The first one is Tom Redmond. I'm going to turn my computer so that you can see him. So at this time, Tom, if you would raise your right hand and take the oath of office.
I, Tom Redmond, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Lake City Area Schools, Missaukee County, Michigan, according to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, our next oath of office is Brian Kunkel. Brian is also a re-elected member of the board. Brian, if I can have you unmute your, very good. And if you will also raise your right hand and repeat the oath of office.
I, Brian Kunkel, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Lake City Area Schools, Missaukee County, Michigan, according to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, at this time, we have a new board member, Dale Rainier.
Excuse me.
Dale, I'm going to ask you at this time to raise your right hand and take the oath of office.
I, Dale Rainier, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Lake City Area Schools, Missaukee County, Michigan, according to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Dale. All right, at this time then, I would just like to recognize the board for their work. This is our board recognition month. Normally I pass out certificates to everyone. Because we are virtual, I'm not doing that at this time. I'll wait until we are in person. I would like to take a moment to, and I know Rod's not on, but he served this district for over 20 years. And I know that I'm very thankful for his leadership and his presence here, stabilizing presence here for over these years. He gave a lot of time and energy to Lake City Area Schools, and I, for one, very much appreciate it. So I just want to go on record stating that.
Thank you, Rod.
Okay, at this time, it's time to appoint a temporary chairperson. I'll take nominations.
I'd make a motion that we nominate Kim Blazak for temporary chairperson.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, the recommended how many are in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, so recommended action is that the board appoint Kim Blazak as temporary chairperson of the organizational and regular board meeting until the election of a board president. I need a motion.
Did that.
I think we just did it. I'm a little rusty at this. So we already did that. Okay, at this time, I'm going to ask Mrs. Ising to do the roll call. Dawn?
Mr. Artis,
Here.
Mrs. Boom,
Here.
Mrs. Helsel,
Here.
Mr. Kunkel,
Here.
Mr. McGinnis, Mr. Rainier,
Here.
Mr. Redmond.
Here.
Okay, we now would like to look at approving the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda with the exception of committee reports.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Yes.
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 Opposed? Carries. All right, consent agenda, where we have approving the minutes of the board workshop, approved minutes of the regular meeting in December 9th, communications, activity report, and the approval of the bills. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, at this time, we have comments from the public. Okay, we have no comments from the public, and we will have another opportunity for comments from the public later in the board meeting. Okay, at this time, administrative reports. I know that Dr. Hanel and Mr. Hamilton gave quite lengthy reports at the board workshop. I'm just going to, I'm sure there's just a few quick updates. Dr. Hanel, middle school, high school, and athletics.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, I'll get my camera going here. Really, the only update that I have to add is with today's MDHHS order update with regard to small gatherings and facial coverings. That does impact our athletic season that we have in terms of our winter season. Not a lot of details with regard to that yet. Typically, what has happened is as soon as MDHHS makes an announcement, MHSAA releases their interpretation or what they have worked out in conjunction with MDHHS. They usually release it during the press conference, and they didn't do that today. So they have a representative council meeting tomorrow where they will interpret pieces. What I mean by interpreting is that it says that non-contact sports can begin. We don't have any of those. Contact sports, which includes basketball and cheer, competitive cheer, those are to wait until at least February 1. Okay, so that's not guaranteed that February 1 is a go, but that's what it's been pushed to for now. They are allowing those athletes to begin practices if they want, and they're allowing them to condition. Okay, and I don't know if tomorrow MHSA, I'm sure, will let us know the details regarding conditioning. We anticipate, does that mean we can shoot a ball or can we not shoot a ball? Do we revert back to the summer rules where we needed to implement those pieces, right? So those are just some of the clarification pieces that I don't know about yet. We have pushed all of our practices to begin on Monday. MHSA has shared in another email that they will be moving the back end of those winter seasons. So the tournaments will be pushed deeper into March. So we very well may end up getting the 2 weeks we're missing out right now on the back end of the season and just having it all moved a little bit. That's our hope, but we'll know for sure tomorrow. So as always, I'll get that information to you as we move along. So any questions regarding that piece? Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Right, Mr. Hamilton, our elementary principal, do you have any additional updates?
I don't have any additional updates. Just want to reiterate how proud of my staff. I had a quick short staff meeting today and just went through some stuff for getting the students back in school, back into that routine. And I know that they're going to be ready as always. And just a great job to the entire staff, what they were able to do during this remote time. So that's all I have.
Thank you. So I'm just going to also reiterate what the principals have said, that we are preparing for Monday. We're planning on Monday. Everything's a go. We're getting everything in place, making sure classrooms are all set up, and we will continue with all safety, health and safety procedures that we had in place at the beginning of the school year. So that will continue. We'll be getting some of our electronic technology returned to the district so that we can go through it and make sure that that's back here, and we'll be using it here at school. So we are looking forward to Monday very much so. At this time, I also want to allow Katie Bice, our health and wellness, are you coordinator, Katie? I'm not sure your official title, but for our health and wellness center, we are going tonight to approve all the policies. And I just wanted to open it up to Katie just to chat with the board a minute. Any questions or any updates you have for us, Katie?
Hi there. Yeah, I don't really have any updates. We're just kind of waiting on the space to be ready for us. But yep, the purpose tonight is just to ask you to go ahead and to see if we can get approved those items that I had talked about at the last board meeting that are required for us to put the Adolescent Health Center inside the school. And those include the location of the health clinic, the agreeing that the school district that will do that MyFi survey at least once every 3 years, and that's usually for 7th, 9th, and 11th graders. Consent for services policy needs to be approved, and the services rendered list. Does anybody have questions on any of those items? No. All right.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, Katie.
Yep.
All right, action items. We have the MASB checklist for board action. Members holding office on January 1st, 2021, and the expiration of their current terms are listed below. Ona Booms, Tamara Helsel, their terms expire on December 31st, 2022. Craig Artis and Joe McGinnis, December 31st, 2024. And Dale Rainier, Tom Redmond, and Brian Kunkel, December 31st, 2026. So those are your official terms. At this time, I would like to take elections of officers, and I'm going to call for nominations for president.
I, Craig Artis, nominate Tom Redmond for president.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
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 Opposed? Carries. This time I will turn over the meeting to Mr. Redmond.
All right, now we need nominations for vice president.
I'd like to make a motion for Craig Artist as vice president.
Second. He beat me, Craig.
Any other nominations? Any discussion before we vote? All in favor of Craig Artis for vice president, say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Congratulations. I'm not gonna be here for the next 6 months.
6 years.
Now we need a motion for secretary.
I want to make a motion that Brian Kunkel be nominated for secretary.
I'd like to make a motion, Dale Rainier, secretary.
I was gonna say, Brian, I'll support that.
Brian, would you accept or decline that nomination?
I'd like to stay as trustee.
Okay. Then you want to make a motion for,
Dale Rainier as secretary. Thank you, Ona.
You're welcome.
I second Dale Rainier, Craig Artis.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion about that? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. We need a motion for treasurer now.
I, Craig Artist, motion that Tamara McLeod Helzel stay as treasurer.
I will second that motion.
Brian, you got out of yours. Okay.
Dale will do a better job.
Oh, you do it.
I don't know about that.
Thank you, Dale.
We've got a motion and support for Tamara McLeod Helsel for treasurer. Any further nominations or discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed,
Yes.
no. Motion carries. Thank you all. Yeah, my shingle shot is starting to hurt a little bit. C, adoption of schedule of regular board meeting dates for the calendar year. The day is the second Wednesday of the month. The time is 7:00. Location is superintendent's office, July and August, elementary cafetorium, September through June. Committee meetings are on the attachment. Need a recommended action is to adopt the checklist.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported as presented. Any discussion about that? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, no.
Yes.
Motion carries. Number 2, appoint committees. Ooh, and I get to do whatever I want here. Is everybody pretty comfortable with where they're at? I know you're at curriculum,
I'm fine.
personnel, Mr. Artis,
I'm good.
student affairs, Mr. Kunkel,
Yes.
operations, Mr. McGinnis, finance, Ms. Helsel, and that leaves Dale Rainier with policy.
So moved.
Thank
Support.
you.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor?
Welcome, Dale.
Yes.
All in favor, say yes.
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 No. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we're on action item number 3. Sinking fund pay applications.
The board has received applications for payment from the Sinking Fund Project Fund. The recommended action is that the board approve the following payments from the Sinking Fund Project Fund. I had forgotten to add one of John Martin's, so I sent that to you. So that was an add-on.
So moved.
No,
That's
the-
added in there.
Okay. Moved and supported. And I just asked if that total was correct, and I was told it was. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 No. Motion carries. Number 4, high school first semester grades and exams.
semester exams will not be factored into semester 1 final grades, which is used to calculate grade point average. Semester 1 final grades will be calculated using a distribution that heavily considers face-to-face learning days, each marking period. Lake City High School Administration proposes the 100% for semester 1 grading to be made up of 70% of marking period 1 grades, and 30% of marking period 2 grades. The recommended action is that the board approve that first semester exams will not be factored into semester 1 final grades.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Number 5, hazard pay grant.
The Michigan Department of Treasury created a hazard pay grant for school employees for additional time spent outside of normal working hours, hazardous conditions, and additional costs incurred for the 2019-20 school year as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The following are a list of employees that did not qualify for the grant but did work during this time: Joe Blazak, Kim Blazak, Tim Hanel, Tyler Hamilton, Rachel Rogers, Tara Hanel, Tracy Wrights, January Rocky, Dawn Ising, and Jody Wade. The recommendation is that the board approve paying hazard pay to the employees that did not qualify for the state hazard pay grant.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Number 6, approved health and wellness policies.
The board has received health and wellness policies for the district wellness center and the location of the district and the location of the health and wellness center located within the Lake City Middle School High School. The recommended action is that the board approve the health and wellness policies for the district wellness center and the location of the health and wellness center in the middle school and high school at Lake City.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Number 7, COVID extended learning plan.
The board has received copies of the COVID Extended Learning Plan, a report concerning the progress made in meeting the educational goals contained in the Extended COVID Learning Plan. In addition, it also outlines all of the training and professional development that occurred for COVID learning plans. So you have all of that information, and that was sent out today to you. So that recommended action then is that the board approve the COVID extended learning plan.
Support.
We have a motion and a support there.
Yes.
Yes.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Number 9, extension of
No.
FF.
8.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading ahead. CDC COVID guidelines.
The board has received information for quarantine from the CDC in regards to staff and students returning to school after possible exposure. First one is after day 10 without testing. Second one is after day 7 after receiving a negative test result. Test must occur on day 5 or later. The recommended action is that the board approve the district use of the CDC COVID guidelines for quarantine.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Law number 9, extension of FFCRA.
So I will tell the board, I did send out an email before I read this to you. After having a superintendent meeting at our ISD, all the other districts are adopting this very similar to what we are, to allow for the extension of this through March 31st. So this is a change in my recommendation from when we had committee last week. I think I sent that email out to you earlier today. The Family First Coronavirus Response Act expired on 12/31/2020. The district would like to extend the sick leave portion of the FFCRA to staff that are exposed to COVID-19 while performing employment duties while in the district. This would allow staff to use the remainder of the 10 days of pay that were previously allowed under the FFCRA. The recommended action is that the board approve the extension of the sick leave portion of the FFCRA until March 31st, 2021.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Motion carries. Number 10, COVID Extended Learning Plan, two-word communication COVID plan.
The board has received copies of the COVID Extended Learning Plan for the 2021 school year. This is a required reconfirmation of this plan that will be presented to the board every 30 days for approval. The board will then take any public comments on the instruction and review how instruction is delivered. I will just add that I have given you each copies of the results of our two-way communication. And we are coming out of the remote learning plan starting Monday. So we will be in person for all students that want to attend in person. We will still have some students that want to remain virtual, and we will continue with that. So we are moving now from remote to in-person starting Monday, January 18th. At this time, there are comments from the public regarding the COVID Extended Learning Plan. Okay, at this time, there are no comments from the public regarding our COVID Extended Learning Plan and returning to school on Monday. The recommended action is that the board approve the COVID Extended Learning Plan reconfirmation 30-day review.
So move.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Other items are board workshop February 5th at 6:30 virtually. And the regular board meeting is Wednesday, February 10th at 7 p.m. also virtual for now. Any other comments or business? Thank you all. Have a good night. We'll adjourn.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody.